Hey, good morning. This is Kim reads Urantia. Nice to see you today. So we're going to read from the Urantia book, but first, you got it. Andrew Harvey, Light the Flame. Highly recommend. Okay. This short reading is from Abu Yazid Bistami, who was a Sufi mystic he was a Sufi from Persia. He was born in Iran in 804 AD and died in 874. Okay, so he was the first Islamist, first Muslim to speak about the ascension of the mystic to heaven, the ascension to heaven. Okay. I think of all the sects of Islam, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that Harvey likes Sufism, which is, you know what, I do too, honest. Yeah, they seem to be the least bound by doctrine and by they're I don't know, I can't say. Okay, but I like Sufism. Okay, and I know yeah, all right. Here we're just gonna go. We're not gonna get into all the disputes between these things. Okay. O Lord, let me understand you. I cannot understand from you except through you. Okay, that's pretty profound. Okay. We can't really understand God. We can't really understand God in the way that we understand any other kind of process. Okay, or something that we understand, something that's just inert. We have to move through God to understand God. So we have to I think that's it. I think we have to understand God as a process rather than as something that's inert, right? Like a stapler or a car. I know how a car works, right? But it's like God works through us and we work through God. I don't know. I'm not putting this into the words I want. So we have to understand God by submitting ourselves to this process, because it's something that happens within us to illuminate us and to make us holy. So through this process, so we don't understand God as like another being or another person. Really, as a person, we can't really understand that, but the workings of God through us, we can kind of begin to understand. We can understand God through God's process, through God's works. Okay? Through God's works, we can see God moving throughout creation, and all of life is touched by God. Okay? All of creation is dynamic, moving and touched by God this way. So God is a person, but I don't think we can understand God as a being, right? We can understand what God does, right? I do think it's possible to say things like God wouldn't do that. That's not something. If somebody refers to some like war or something or disease, God didn't create disease. God didn't create these things. God doesn't create things to punish us. These are things that come about kind of like, they come about kind of like, I guess God created the potentiality for these things to happen. But God didn't create pestilence. God didn't create war. God creates potentialities for us to make the most of our opportunities, or to succumb to temptation. God creates that potential. God has created that potential. But that's for our growth. There's no other way for us to grow toward being perfect from being imperfect. That was the whole mission, is for us to be born imperfect and flawed and to grow toward perfection, to have the experience of emerging toward perfection. Okay, good. Okay, we are on paper 11, section 3. Upper paradise. Let's talk about upper paradise. Remember, we talked about last time that upper paradise is the realm that's associated with personality, with personalized reality. Lower paradise is unpersonalized. Okay, the periphery of paradise is a little bit of both, kind of. So I hypothesize that because the periphery is both, the outside, it's kind of thicker on the outside because it's like a oblong kind of a pancake. Like if you see like an oval pancake, and it's got higher pressure on the north end, so it establishes all directionality comes from this place. So we can actually say that, Venus is north or east of Jupiter, something like that, which is wild. I mean, I always thought that directions were confined to our planet. It doesn't make sense. It is totally arbitrary that, we're the north in the northern hemisphere. Why aren't they north in the southern hemisphere? Australia could be north. It's just if more people would have inhabited Australia first, then they would have been north. But no, that's not it. That's not it. And I don't know if we got the ends right. I don't know. Okay, all right. I'm going to stop. Okay. Got to drink the coffee before it gets cold. All right. Busy day ahead, right? Here we go. On Upper Paradise, there are 3 grand spheres of activity. The deity presence, the most holy sphere, and the holy area. Oh my gosh. Besides this being the home of, the Father, Son, and the Spirit. Okay. The holy sphere. There is a sphere in paradise, but paradise is not a sphere. Okay, I accept it. Okay, I wanted it to be a sphere, but it's not a sphere. Okay. It's cool though. It's cool. It's shaped like it's shaped. Whatever. I like geometry, and I associate a lot of geometry with holy design, divine design, um, math and stuff like that. I like to think about that stuff. But anyway, that's me. Okay, I know I'm weird. I'm a geek. The vast region immediately surrounding the presence of the deities is set aside as the most holy sphere and is reserved for the functions of worship. Okay. Of worship, trinitization, and high spiritual attainment. So is that the sphere of the deity presence? That's the most holy sphere. The most holy sphere. No, okay. No. On Upper Paradise, there are 3 grand spheres of activity. 3 spheres. The most holy sphere, right, is the one, the vast region immediately surrounding the presence of the deities is set aside as the most holy sphere and is reserved for the functions of worship, trinitization, and high spiritual attainment. There are no material structures nor purely intellectual creations in this zone. They could not exist there. It is useless for me to undertake to portray to the human mind the divine nature and the beauteous grandeur of the most holy sphere of paradise. This realm is wholly spiritual, and you are almost wholly material. A purely spiritual reality is, to a purely material being, apparently non-existent. Okay. So this is where the Trinity are in the most holy sphere. Well, there are no physical materializations in the area of the most holy. There are abundant souvenirs of your material days in the Holy Land sectors, and still more in the reminiscent historic areas of peripheral paradise. There's souvenirs. What is a souvenir? Not a material, so it must be a thought or something. There's no physical materializations in the area of the most holy. There are abundant souvenirs, like memories of your material days in the Holy Land sectors, and still more in the reminiscent historic areas of peripheral paradise. The holy area, outlying or residential region. Okay, so I guess other beings do live here besides the Trinity. Okay, the Trinity is in the most holy sphere. And then there's the holy area. Okay, the holy area. Hold on. Okay. Okay, the holy area, the outlying or residential region, is divided into 7 concentric zones. Who would make this up and why? No. Paradise is sometimes called the Father's house, since it is his eternal residence, and these 7 zones are often designated the Father's paradise mansions. The inner or first zone is occupied by paradise citizens and the natives of Havona who may chance to be dwelling on paradise. The next or second zone is the residential area of the natives of the 7 super universes of time and space. This second zone is in part subdivided into 7 immense divisions. the paradise home of the spirit beings and descendant creatures who hail from the universes of evolutionary progression. Okay, so each segment of the 7, right, is divided into, regions corresponding to the 7 super universes, right? Okay, that's what I'm getting. Each of these sectors is exclusively dedicated to the welfare and advancement of the personalities of a single universe. But these facilities are almost infinitely beyond the requirements of the present 7 super universes. Okay, the facilities are infinitely beyond the requirements. Okay. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. Infinitely more than enough to ensure the well-being of the 7 super universes in totality. Okay, okay, so, we're taken care of. This is telling us that you're taken care of. Everything's going to be okay. If you believe that, you just got to believe it. It's telling us everything's okay. They're taking care of it. It's plenty of love for us out there. Okay. Each of the 7 sectors of paradise is subdivided into residential units suitable for the lodgment headquarters of 1 billion glorified individual working groups. Okay, not even 1 billion people, or 7 billion people. This is big. So this is 1 billion working groups. And how many people classify or are in a working group? I don't know. 100,000 divisions equal 1 congregation. Wait, I skipped. Okay, so, right, each of the 7 sectors of paradise is subdivided into residential units suitable for lodgment headquarters of 1 billion glorified individual working groups. 1,000 of these units constitute a division. 100,000 divisions equal 1 congregation. 10 million congregations constitute an assembly. 1 billion assemblies make 1 grand unit. And 7 of the grand units make up the master units. And 7 of the master units constitute a superior unit. And thus by 7s, the ascending series expands through the superior, super superior, celestial, super celestial to the supreme units. But even this does not utilize all the space available. There's no space in it though, because remember, it doesn't have a space component. Wait, it's got a location in space, but it doesn't have space. What is that? What does that say again? What is that place that? Right, but no position in space. It doesn't have a position in space. It has, right, no space, but it has distance or something like this. Now it's telling us that that's, okay, so it's really bizarre. Okay, so I don't know. Okay, but this does not utilize all the space available. So this roomy in there. But even this, okay, this staggering number of residential designations on Paradise, a number beyond your concept, occupies considerably less than 1% of the assigned area of the Holy Land. And we're not talking about Israel here. Okay, I don't see another reference to the Holy Land. Okay. There is still plenty of room for those who are on their way inward, even for those who shall not start the paradise climb until the times of the eternal future. So there's plenty of room in there, and somehow it's not really associated with space. I don't know, but so it's kind of like an infinite thing. So they're trying to tell us that don't worry about it. Okay, so this is interesting too, in that here we talked about the holy area and the holy sphere. 3 grand spheres of activity. The deity presence. Maybe the deity presence is of course just the right. So maybe these are like concentric spheres. I was thinking of them as separate spheres, or you know, I think they're concentric spheres. Okay, so the deity presence is the innermost. Then it goes right to the most holy sphere, where there's nothing spiritual, there's nothing material there. Only spiritual. And then on the outside, we got the holy area where all these beings live here. These 10 million congregations, 1 billion assemblies. Holy smoke. Okay, so I'd be happy enough just to live in heaven. I'd be happy wherever they want to put me. I don't know. Okay, paradise. Wow, what a trip. Okay, we're gonna stop there. All right, yeah. Okay, let's. Okay. To me, that's just so provocative. That's just my imagination just starts, just tripping. Anyway, all right. You have a really wonderful day. I'll see you next time. Bye. Love you.